This week on 207, we've been sharing stories and recipes connected to Maine's lobster industry as part of the annual Maine Lobster Week. And this year, Lobster Week comes at a time of worry and anger in Maine's lobster fishery.
The reason? Concerns about the potential impact of regulations to protected endangered right whales. 207's Don Kerrigan joins us now in the studio. And Don, you spent some time with fishermen learning more about the issues they're facing.
Yeah, and this is complex and intense, as we know. The debate over the impact of lobster fishing on right whales has actually been going on for years now, but as we have seen, it has become a lot more intense over the last few weeks.
In a business with about 5,000 licensed lobstermen and women, Steve Train from Long Island and Jerry Cushman from Port Clyde are some of the most respected voices. Both have been making their living catching lobsters for over 30 years.
The lobstermen in Maine have done absolutely everything that's been asked for them.
And as we talked on the dock in Portland, both said their industry is being blamed unfairly for the decline of the right whale.
We have people trying to put us out of business by hurting us financially with absolutely no scientific evidence. Actually, the evidence is to the contrary. The evidence that we have says it's not us.
The attack, as they call it, is from the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California, whose Seafood Watch is urging people and businesses to not buy Maine lobster because they say the industry threatens the survival of the right whale. And after years of arguing with federal regulators over whale protection rules, that action by Monterey Bay has ignited anger across the lobster industry.
I truly believe the lobstermen have done everything that they've been asked to by National Marine Fisheries and DMR. You know, we're not the bad guys here. You ask us to do it, we do it. So why are you putting us on the red list? Because we challenged science? We have that right to be able to challenge science. We have a lot of knowledge, and that's why we challenge the science.
The Maine Lobstermen's Association and the state went to federal court to challenge the scientific basis for the whale protection rules issued last year. The fishing industry claims the science is unsound and that Maine's lobster ropes are not entangling right whales.
We are not out of compliance with any rule that is in existence right now to protect these whales. The lobstermen in Maine have done absolutely everything that's been asked for them. There has never been a whale mortality attributed to the Maine lobster fishery. We mark our gear distinctively from every other fishery.
There is no information. What in the hell are these people thinking?
Maine's political leaders also jumped to the industry's defense after the Monterey Bay listing. At Luke's Lobster, which also markets and sells far beyond Maine, owner Luke Holden says he helped to lead many of those same officials to meet with Monterey Bay back in 2020.
And we proactively worked with them to educate them and make sure that they had all the facts. And it just became very clear over that back and forth that it was lip service. They weren't interested in the facts. They weren't interested in the scientific data that we had to offer.
Holden, too, is angry about the Seafood Watch listing, aimed, he says, to cut lobster sales.
They took a bazooka approach to solving a problem. Right whales are critically endangered. And if you look at the facts on why they're critically endangered, there isn't a single fact that supports Maine having any involvement in the decline of critically endangered North American right whales.
And that Monterey Bay issue may not be the biggest challenge the industry faces. The lobster industry and the state lost their federal lawsuit challenging the scientific underpinnings of the whale regulations. That court ruling is being appealed, but the industry is also waiting to see what new restrictions may be coming from the feds. Regulators have said in the past they want to see a 90% reduction in risk of entanglement to right whales. And they have suggested the primary cause of that risk is the number of ropes in the water connecting lobster buoys to lobster traps.
At the end of the court process, you have to get there. How in the world do you do that?
That's $1 million question.
The problem is the people attacking the industry have alienated us. We could be their best friends. We could sit down and tell them what we can do and what we can't do, and maybe we could work out a plan. They don't want to hear from us. They want to tell us what to do.
Train and Cushman say all the fishermen are worried that new rules to reduce risk to whales by 90% could have a dramatic impact that would cut their incomes and potentially threaten the economic future of coastal Maine.
And these actions from litigation or NOAA or from attacking our markets could turn these islands in peninsula towns into the equivalent of the 70s and 80s Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is the industry, and they want it shut down.
For now, they're still fishing. Prices at the dock have been down from last year, but the catch in many places, we're told, has been good. And the debate goes on.
And for the people that want to help, everyone that says, what can I do, what can I do? I just want to remind everybody, September 25th is National Lobster Day. And I would like to turn this around on Monterey. And if you support the Maine Lobstermen and stand with us, make this the biggest lobster sale day of the year, please.
This is a highly complex issue, as you can tell, lots of details. The appeal of the court ruling about the scientific underpinning of the current whale rules has been filed. That's going to be heard by a federal appeals court. At the same time, the lobster industry, the National Marine Fisheries Service, and the environmental groups are working with a judge to offer their ideas on when new, revised, likely tougher whale protection rules should be put together and take effect. That judge is expected to make at least an initial decision on the timing of that, possibly in November or early December. There are, of course, a lot of other sides and points of view on this. Pat and Samantha, we plan to be talking with the environmental groups who want to protect the right whales in the next couple of weeks.
The stakes are extraordinarily high.
Yes.
Thank you, Don.